Yo, what's happening, people? You're listening to the Rest Things podcast, the Kenny Omega approved podcast. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, you already know this podcast is by the Mandem, for the Mandem. Bow!
Rest Things podcast, episode 142. Make some fucking noise. Unfortunately, we are remote podding today. We know how you guys like to get onto us, like, oh yeah, it's not the actual studio, it's not the vibes. But I mean, I think the Mandem can agree with the remote ones. We still give, good content anyways. But some of you guys, if you guys want to sell to the studio, fucking donate to our coffee.
Just
donate to our fucking coffee, man. But before we get into the thing, how's the Mandem doing?
All good,
man. Good, man.
Today is a very special day. It's even Mex's birthday. Make some noise for our fucking bro.
I was telling NK, I wasn't supposed to be here, as you guys know, but my son's not well. He fell ill like lunchtime today, innit? So we had to pick him up from school. All birthday plans got collapsed. And he's just at home looking after him. But I'll step out this weekend.
Make sure you remind him about this 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years from now.
Guilt.
10 years from now.
Me and your mommy were going to enjoy ourselves.
Going to be doing Ukrainian.
Yeah, man.
Oh, who's introduce themselves first?
What's up, people? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And you're tuned in to another episode of the WRESTHINGS podcast. Who else we got?
Yo, people, it's your boy NK, aka the man, the owl, too sweet to be sour, aka the Hood Japanese correspondent, aka the CEO, the president, the commissioner, the TDM, Tokyo Dome Merchants. Yeah, man.
Come on. Yo, it's your boy Laps, the main event liver on Champagne Sipper, Big Bat Driller, and
Can your mommy hear you?
I can hear prayers going on downstairs, but you don't know the rest of the promo.
Man said you can hear prayers and he's
He's drilling.
Hi. It's never to call yourself the son of Samson. Jesus.
I'm laughing at the promo next week.
You're stupid. Scandal people, big Guap Daddy, the man of many AKAs, but it's remote, so I'm not going to get the reaction I want. So simple things today.
I hear it.
Oh, where we starting off with today?
That promo. Let's start from there.
Oh,
MJF William Regal, man.
Make some noise for MJF. I can't lie. The promos this guy has cut this year.
Listen.
Extensive catalogue.
Generational, bro.
Extensive catalogue. This guy is going to be able to write books, comic books, tell stories for years. We're going to be talking about these promos for years. Like, it's crazy what he's done this year alone. Like, let alone since AEW started and he came to prominence. It's mad.
It's nuts. Like, just the kid, like I said, from the CM Punk feud, even within that CM Punk feud, you have Bear. Obviously, the promo he cut on Tony Khan, controversial, but, effective. This promo here, even the promos he's been cutting throughout his return has been mad. Like, and the thing is, he hasn't even, I'm telling you, when he gets the title, it's going to be even worse. Like, we're just going to see promo after promo after promo after promo. Yeah, man. Listen, like he's give him a new. I know you just signed a new contract. Give him a new contract.
Give him another one. Another one. They
need to look. Listen. When I know he keeps talking about the bidding war, but he's right to talk about it because when it comes time for him to negotiate the bread this guy will be offered from WWE, from AEW, will be ridiculous.
Astronomical.
This one he's gonna be offered is a Gege bread, bruv. This isn't regular bread at all, bro.
Not regular Kingsmill bread.
Not at all. Like, he's proven right now that he has to go in at a level. Like, if he went to WWE any earlier, like, I think he was even said in that promo, like, they may not have deemed him ready, this, that, and the other. His money wouldn't be probably anywhere near what it is now, let alone what it will be if he is to go in a couple of years' time. I personally thought after he had done his part, and I saw the crowd doing a standing ovation, I said, I swear this is unprecedented. I've never seen anyone get a standing ovation in the middle of a segment, standing, clapping, everything. And then when William Regal asked for the mic, my head was literally in my hands. I thought, you can't follow this. Like, this is the setup. But he done his thing as well. Like, and I was even thinking, like, I don't know of a time where William Regal has had such a prominent position in a segment like that either. Like, where he's had to cut a promo of that intensity, like, to kind of rebuttal what my man just said. Like, in his whole career, this is probably still somewhere like top 3, top 5 promos William Regal has ever had to do of that level, and still pulled it off. Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think the interesting thing about MJF as well, and we mentioned the CM Punk stuff earlier, it's interesting to see him actually go toe to toe with quote unquote idols that he's had, or people that have been influential in his career. And I said it in the GC as well, like, it seems like this guy's got 1,000 villain origin stories. Like, everybody has a part to play in the rise of MJF, and him now overcoming it, and him becoming the person that he is, and why he is the person he is today. And just like you said with the rebuttal, like, when MJF said what he had to say, in my head I was thinking, I love William Regal, but I honestly don't know what he's gonna say
You're done. You're finished.
to counter this. But when he did, and then he turned around, I said,
yeah,
MJF has got us in his hand like this.
Yeah.
And he's gonna trick us.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to trick us. And bro, like, when he put the ring on, and William Regal just said smiling, because William Regal knew, like, he hasn't got it in him to do it. And then he came out at the end, after the whole we're gonna get into the Moxley and Adam Page stuff, and he brought out the ref. And I was thinking, okay, cool. He's not gonna cash it in though. But when he gave William Regal the chip, and he cut the promo about, I want you at your 110%, I said, this guy has got us in his hand, because yeah, he made, and Beck said something interesting in this video about the firm. You might as well get onto that. But
yeah, so I thought, obviously,
we've
seen him a couple of weeks ago, like, denouncing the firm. Why are you not getting involved? I never asked you not to do that. You know, telling Stokely, stay hands off, stay away, and all this kind of stuff. And I just think this is surely all an act. You just got together. Like, these men are surely gonna help you. Like, all of this that he's saying to Regal and Moxley, like, I'm gonna win in an honorable way. I want to beat you at 100%, all fair. Like, this. MJF said, I'm gonna win smart. I work smart. Like, I don't do all of this kind of, you know, I just want to get to the result the fastest way possible, the quickest way possible. And on the other hand, now we've got William Regal as well, telling him to be a real villain, a real devil. That's what you want to be. Like, so I just can't help but see, like, obviously November comes, Full Gear comes. I don't see any other winner than MJF walking out. It's literally just a matter of how they do it. Will it be with the firm's help? Will it be with William Regal's help? Like, I honestly think that the seeds were sown last night for William Regal to turn, because he's already said, I like you. I saw everything in you when you were 19. You just weren't of age. Like, I just couldn't sign you, or whatever the case may be. Now he's a 26-year-old man, you know, one of the hottest properties in the entire wrestling business. And I just feel like if they told a story with William Regal almost doing this turn, being in MJF's corner, he's still champion, and they're teasing him going to WWE with someone that has been ahead of recruitment for WWE for years. Like, this is gold dust, like, honestly. And there's an argument as to, you know, how much should they really lean into this? They said WWE hell a lot last night, but it was all in the means of the story. There was no, like, jibes and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, how much would they really tease that we're taking now a top talent, or possibly even our champion, to the other side? Like, it would be brilliant TV. A lot of people are saying it may not make sense for AEW and promoting their product, but it will be immense TV.
I think so. Even to go, I feel like this is how, I don't like the term shoot promos, but this is how you incorporate history into wrestling. It's a wrestling is storytelling, and like with every story, there's backstory. For example, like Del Boy said, every supervillain has an origin story. I feel like it's when people hate shoot promos, it's like, you buried me backstage, you did this, you did that, where it doesn't relate to being a wrestler and doesn't work in kayfabe. This story works completely in kayfabe because MJF is a wrestler. WWE was the biggest company at the time. It's like, in order to succeed, he had to go through William Regal and that. And now the obstacle that he had in WWE is now hit. It makes sense for him as a character to bring these things up because he's going to be facing somebody that William Regal rated, and he's going to be facing the person that he kind of wanted to be. Like MJF said in the promo, William Regal put his hand over Claudio, put his hand over Danielson, put his hand over Moxie. And look what they achieved, not only in WWE, but now in AEW. So it makes sense that, I'm going to beat the person that you put your arm around to show you that I'm the guy you should have invested in all of this time. So I feel like just having that backstory for MJF makes so much sense. And like Del Boy said, he's going to trick us, but I feel like him allowing us to see like his softer side, his more vulnerable side, is gonna make us think, do you know what? Maybe there's a hope for change for MJF. Maybe, do you know what? MJF is turning a new leaf. And the thing is, this isn't just something that's been happening with this feud. It's been happening with CM Punk, and it happens all the time with when MJF meets an idol or a mentor. The vulnerable, even if you go back to Cody Rhodes back in 2019, like MJF is always at his most vulnerable when he meets people he actually respects. But this time, like, we're getting to see him like really like be vulnerable, so that when the time comes and we think, you know what, MJF is going to do the right thing, he's going to trick us, and we're going to be like, raw. So you got us invested for these for these months. You poured your heart out. You talked about your not being scouted by WWE. You talked about being a Jew boy. You talked about being having ADHD. You talked about all of these things for you just to betray us in the end. I'm telling you, it's gonna hit differently, and I like this story that we're telling. I think we've probably seen it before in wrestling, but we don't see it often. Where we see like the heel have layers to him, because the heels are usually just like, I'm bad because I'm bad, right? But like now we're getting the full backstory. This is Joker. This is Joker. Yeah. This is the movie Joker. We're getting the full origin story of why I'm like this and why I'm going to continue being like this. So don't be mad at me like I owe you anything, because you know the full story. Don't look at me like I owe you anything. So yeah.
Now his character work is A1.
It's sensational.
It's A1. So many layers, like a flipping onion, bruv. Like, it's literally every feud. It's like, this is what I'm feuding with, or who I'm feuding with. He'll probably write, how the story should turn out, this, that, and the other. Like you're saying, pull up on certain things that have literally happened in past. And, we don't know how much of stuff is the truth, or, but I'm sure a lot of these situations and stuff, it's probably about 90% true, and then 10% Maggie and seasoning to make it into a TV story. This was brilliant from start to finish, and I thought we were going to get something like this, because by the time the show started, it said Title Tuesday. There was 4 titles on the show. I thought, okay, but they're not going to give these matches like half an hour each. It's going to be promos, but someone's going to get a promo. And then when William Regal came out, and then obviously got cut off straight away by MJF's music, I just sat up, I paid attention. I said, okay, cool. This is it. This is the 15-minute or 20-minute promo that's going to just, fill this section of the show. And it was just awesome, man.
Yeah, pretty much what you guys said. I'm just very intrigued to see where this is going, like how this moves going forward. And obviously MJF is obviously going to be the one to beat John Moxley. What would happen next after he's won the title? Like, where do we go from there? Not like I'm rushing into that, but I'm just intrigued to see, cool, he's revealed, like, listen, I am always the devil that I said I was. Who is going to be his first feud? Who do you man think?
Maybe Hangman. just because I'm thinking Hangman obviously just lost this opportunity because of the injury, but
yeah,
I feel like they just did Utah, but I feel like they'll do Utah again. Maybe not as the first feud, but they'll do Utah again. I just feel like them two have a good dynamic.
Do you know what I just had a thought? I just had a thought.
CM
because
Punk.
not even fuck that nigga, man. But I was thinking, yeah, this is probably very, very far fetched, isn't it? But we started to see the dissension of Wheeler Utah from BCC a little bit.
Yeah,
we started to tease him and Danielson. Might be a stretch, but do you think maybe Wheeler Utah could be the one to cost Moxley just to spite Danielson?
Nah,
because it's a stretch, but he did say never meet your heroes. It could be a thing where it's like, you know what? Because remember, them two were going to shake hands.
Yeah.
They were going to shake hands. So it could be. It's a stretch. It's maybe like 10. I'm 10% leaning on it. I don't think it will happen, but
for the same stuff, for the same scene, I guess that's why I think William Regal's going to, leave or turn, because I think like maybe this is the beginnings of the end for the Blackpool Combat Club. Like Utah is still obviously on the up and up. Like I've always said this, Claudio Castagnoli, I don't know what he's really doing there, innit? Like, so I just feel like maybe they've seen, okay, it's run its course now. Moxley's gonna go away, maybe have his vacation. Utah could be, like we're saying, a possible first feud for MJF. What Danielson, Claudio, what are we really doing here with everyone else? That's why I think William Regal might just kill it, basically go off with MJF or whatever that story is going to be, and then maybe we see the likes of Utah be at first, but I can't necessarily see Utah being like a turning or causing the issue. Like
I feel like
do you guys think Utah is even ready to be competing for the title like that, challenging
MJF?
On a Dynamite for sure, like not on a pay-per-view, but like on a Dynamite, have like maybe like a little two-week build. Like I don't see nothing wrong with that, because I feel like this title away from MJF is going to be a very long one. Like it's gonna be.
I'm here for it.
A long one, so we're gonna have to get some contenders out of the way in it. I feel like they can revisit. Obviously, don't know what Darby's doing now, but like later on, they can revisit the whole Darby thing as well. Because him and Darby had a great match at Full Gear, and I feel like even their feud, was that Full Gear? Yeah, Full Gear last year, and even the build they had to that feud was to that match was pretty good, didn't it? So with MJF, I have no idea who the first opponent's gonna be. Probably Hangman's probably the best bet, because he's like that baby face that most of the crowd love. That MJF can really like, if he beats Hangman Page, it's like, okay, like we really hate you because Hangman Page like a beloved guy. But yeah, man.
I mean, Hangman makes sense because to establish a champion, you kind of have to beat the former champions. So after beating Moxley, Hangman, perfect sense. The question is, who after Hangman?
I can't remember who made this video. It's one of these booking videos. It may be an Adam Blompier video, but I read someone basically transcribed it and put it on Reddit. So I was reading it, and they said obviously when they book in MJF's run as champion, the first half should be like a pretty much normal run. He's being dominant, beating a couple guys, but then obviously his contract is to run out January 2024. So it'll get to a point in the run, like halfway through next year, 2023, where it's like people looking around at each other like, all right, we have to take the belt off this guy, otherwise he's going to leave with it. And that's when you start pulling out the big guns, and the opposition get bigger and bigger and bigger. You get maybe your last hope is maybe like a Kenny Omega at Full Gear next year, and MJF still beats him. And then this is obviously fantasy booking. They said that I think it was they get a one night only Cody Rhodes to come back at Winter is Coming. And listen, this is not my story, innit? They get Cody Rhodes to come back one night only at Winter is Coming, and he wins the championship back, so MJF doesn't leave with it, and then just drops it basically, just to relinquish it, take it off him basically, and that will kind of close off the MJF Cody story at the same time. I mean, it's a very far fetched. I like the idea until it kind of got to there, because obviously we know that's a bit unrealistic.
Maybe obviously maybe Danielson maybe or someone like that, or I don't know. I kind of want, if somebody's gonna dethrone MJF, it doesn't have to be, but it would be nice if it was like an AEW like original, like somebody who was there from like 2019, or just somebody who's like had that relationship with MJF. I don't know who at this point, but
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin's the only one I can think of.
Darby Allin would be a good one. Yeah,
it has to be someone from the pillar, just not Sammy Guevara.
The pillars are done, man.
Those pillars aren't even standing anymore. Those pillars are shaking, my guy.
There's MJF who's a bridge, and then there's everyone else who's just
MJF is gone. MJF is gone, bro.
MJF is not. He's not with them, man, no more, fam.
Yeah,
he's an EVP at this point.
Trust. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know who else is there anyway. If like we're saying, if it's not Darby, it's not going to be probably the likes of Omega again, unless they get into crisis like they have been in this past year. I don't know.
See, Philip ruined it again. Philip Brooks ruined it because, Philip ruined it because it would have been Punk in it, but
Punk to beat MJF.
No, I think though in this feud, obviously to Full Gear, it would have been MJF and Punk, and I think at that point, if it was still MJF and Punk, maybe you could have done Moxley when the time was right. But obviously, Moxley's tired. Like, I love Moxley. He's been a great year. Haven't been upset at any of his title wins, but no more for the next 2 years. No more titles.
He's been brilliant. Just the word on him, even when obviously this Hangman thing happened last night, and hopefully he's all right and stuff. Like, just the way he just it's like, obviously the referee's probably hearing bare stuff in his ear. It's just like, right, you have to do this now, you have to do that, and like he is the leader. Like, this is his company. Like you can tell, and even with him signing a new contract, Jericho signing a new contract now, like. These are the people you should have trusted from the start, which he obviously did. But obviously, you dashed a hell of a lot of money at CM Punk to come back to wrestling, and we can't pretend we probably all at least wanted to see him come back to wrestling. Whether you actually cared beyond that return, that's a different question. But like, it's just proven to be an investment that just wasn't worth it. Has costed you, your booking, what you had almost been perfect booking since your inception in terms of how you've handled things, and we are where we are now.
Let me ask you this: did you ever think that, like, when you saw Dean Ambrose or even when John Moxley signed, that he would be this big of a deal? Because I'll be real, like I've always saw like, okay, Dean Ambrose is always like, I've always seen him like as a top guy, but like the light I view him in is like. He's one of the, like, not in terms of like in ring, but he's just one of the best in the world overall. I never viewed him that way, but previously, did you not foresee like John Moxley's right? Did you know he always had this in him, or was it a thing of like, nah, he proved you wrong?
I'll be honest, I didn't think he had this in him, because like when I looked at him in WWE as Dean Ambrose, he was always in the shadow of like Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, so. It was kind of hard to see him as like someone that has the potential to be this top guy. And then as soon as he made his AEW debut, different attitude, different style, that's when I was like, okay, there could be potential in this. And then it just needed some time to cook, and then we got the result, and he far exceeded my expectations as to what he could be, because he stepped out of the shadows of two other people, So yeah, like in my opinion, Moxley right now is just as big as Roman and Seth, for example. Yeah. So yeah, he's far exceeded my expectations, if I'm honest.
I think for me, I saw him in like CZW and FCW, so I was kind of aware of like, in terms of like promo skills around that period of time, Moxley was ahead of hella people. Like
the entire FCW class, he was ahead of.
Bro, he was a clear of everyone. And there was even a period where him and Mick Foley were meant to get into a feud. Like they done like this shoot where it was like
online stuff.
Online, innit? Where they were meant to have a feud, innit? And for someone like Mick Foley to believe in him that early on, and then obviously you got to WWE, done what he did. In WWE, he was a massive deal. Like, we can't ever pretend he was a massive deal, do you know what I mean? So when he left, and we saw from the send-off that WWE gave him that this isn't any regular Schmegula, what's he called, Tyler Rex or Kurt Hawkins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is Dean Ambrose. For you to get a send off like that like WWE in the back of their head, they're probably thinking, yeah, we fucked up, because if we'd just given this guy what he wanted and what he wanted to do, something could have been. And for him to now come out and from the production of like the promos, like the vignettes that he did when he left WWE, to him joining New Japan and
G1.
you know, then him coming to AEW, just his arrival in AEW and the reaction he got and the energy that he had, like when he was there. In my head, I was like, you know what? This is not the same guy that we saw in WWE. We're going back to like early 2010s. Like he's back in his element now. You can tell like he was having the time of his life. You know, he won the the IWGP US Championship. He was having bangers in fucking AEW early on. So to see where he is now, like I think it was already preset from like when he joined AEW.
Just to echo that, like again, I remember watching him and the whole of the Shield and all of these lot in when I was in uni, FCW on YouTube and stuff like that. He was the top guy. He was the top guy then in the Shield. This is it. When he was a Shield, like he was cutting all the promos, everything. So I think that's where my confusion was when the Shield disbanded. Obviously, Seth Rollins' story was the one that kind of took off. Roman was then the guy they wanted to push, and Dean was. I don't know. They weren't really doing much with him, innit? Like he was like Roman's number 2 almost, and then he became WWE champion. Yeah, you could see they had a lot of stock in him, but at the same time, they were still booking to do a lot of stuff. The character was more wacky rather than kind of hardcore. Violence, like hardcore, like he is now. And then upon leaving, when he went to AEW and AEW was formed. Obviously, from the names that we knew early on that was going to be attached to AEW, I thought, okay, he's going to be a big name because he's the WWE guy coming in. But at the same time, like, these man can really wrestle. Like, I'm seeing him go after Omega on night 1, and I'm thinking, you can't wrestle like Omega, bro. Like, this is different. This is different. 2 different things, isn't it? Like, you could do your thing, but Omega's thing's different. But honestly, no word of a lie. And don't clip this and take this out of context, yeah. Moxley is Austin to AEW.
I agree.
He's very much Stone Cold Steve Austin right now. Yeah. Like it's obviously not crazy as Austin was. Wrestling was different them times, but he has become like just that figure. Like
he's AEW.
It's him. It's true. It's him.
AEW. Like for me, AEW is like it's the elite, but AEW is Moxley.
Yeah.
Like the elite could leave. For me, I look at Moxley like he reminds me of like them lifers. Like everyone can come in, they can go, but me, I'm here to stay because I believe in this brand. And that's how I look at Moxley.
He's the top guy.
I see things now like I see things now like you see like if something happens now with maybe Chris Jericho, let's say for instance, in the press or something like that. They would say former WWE wrestler Chris Jericho, Chris Jericho, who also now works for AEW. But I feel like John Moxley, and granted, his name is different than when he was in WWE, but I feel like John Moxley is just the AEW wrestler John Moxley now. Like it's almost like he's erased his WWE run. It's not even there anymore. Like
he's cleared it.
Yeah,
he's lacked it.
Yeah. It's mad. He's done so well in these 3 years. Like,
because for me, like, I was not a Dean Ambrose guy in it. Like, I saw like within the Shield, like I saw it, but like solo wise, like I was like Roman and Seth, bro. Like, but then even during the early days of AEW, I was hating. You see when he went over on Kenny Omega during that lights out match, even though he's the hardcore, I was hating. I was like, why is this WWE guy coming into the? He shut me up. He shut me up. Like, he's like that, and they got to the point here where this year, especially when Punk left here, because I feel like, and even outside of the title, I remember we did what was it called? Tier rankings, yeah. And we ranked people, and Del Boy said something, and it stuck with me. Even when Moxley didn't have the title, he was always treated like that guy. Like Moxley is how you want your non-champions to be booked. When he wasn't champion, he was doing hella stuff.
Yeah.
He was doing like he was booked like the. And then when Punk left, when Punk got injured, and Moxley took the reins interim champion, he was champion.
Yeah.
Moxley, Moxley was. It wasn't no interim. He was champion.
His interim reign was better than his first reign.
Yeah.
His interim reign was better than his first reign.
It's crazy that you say that because every year it seems that Moxley's just getting better and better. And it's only been, 3-4 years? Like, he's done far more in this amount of time than he's done in his entire WWE run.
And, you know, obviously, thanks to him and people around him, obviously he took his health into his own hands and got help when he needed help. And that genuinely looks like it's done something for him as well. Like, he looks like he's moving better. And obviously, if he's living a more healthier lifestyle, it makes him be able to, I guess, do more in the ring and, just work more dates and all of this kind of stuff. Like, it's mad the way the kind of turnaround has happened with him.
He's Moxie's the man. Moxie's the guy, man. He went from being my least favorite member of the Shield to probably my favorite guy right now.
Yeah. He's definitely true. I remember. Do you remember his what was that thing called? The Broken Skull podcast with Austin?
Yeah. And Austin, I'll never forget. Austin was like, "You should try more. You should do more."
Austin stuck it on him.
Yeah, and he was pissed.
And it definitely looks like that could have been something that put the fire underneath him, because even from the time when he had that long injury in WWE and he had never been injured really before and then came back just before he left, it's like his whole approach, everything was different and he wanted to do different stuff and they wouldn't let him, hence why he left. But like he said, from then his mind was made up. When his contract was up, he was going. Like he was never going to stick around and sign a new contract. So yeah, maybe a bit of tough love and all of that stuff from Austin as well. He's pretty much like Austin over there right now.
Would you guys want him to go back though? No, not because he's doing bad at AEW, but would you like to see? Do you think this Moxley would like? You see how Cody basically copy and pasted his character from AEW to WWE. Do you feel like Moxley would work there, or do you think like, nah, do you know what? Stay in AEW.
This Moxley is smoking Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I agree. I 100% agree. But that's if they let him be Moxley. That's the answer to your question.
If they make him Dean Ambrose, then
then
you have to go feud Kevin Owens. But this one, I can't lie, it's very believable that Roman cannot chat to him. Like, of course, and I know there'll be the testers like, oh, what do you mean it's Roman? But bro, this
Moxley's legit, like legitimacy.
Baz. You know what I mean?
And even like within kayfabe, within story, I think Laps just a minute ago you said like he's now sitting with the other members of the Shield. Before I was pretty much tempted to say then that I think Moxley is ahead of like the three right now. If you were to rank the three, Moxley's number one. Like even storyline wise, like I'm saying, Roman has always historically had issues wrestling dead man. Like I don't know how many times Roman has beaten Seth Rollins in a one-on-one, if ever. The same with Ambrose. So even within story, it makes perfect sense that Roman wouldn't be able to beat Moxley if he came across as Moxley and not Dean Ambrose.
It'll be a sick match.
I mean, the dream match that we all need to have within our generation is the Shield triple threat.
It's not gonna happen.
And we need to. Dream match, innit? Like it may happen, it may not happen, but fantasy booking. And if Moxley comes back, he has to go back as Moxley.
Triple threats are my favorite gimmick match of all time. I do not care for that match. I'll be very real.
Yeah.
I do not care to see Roman versus Seth versus.
Have you not cared for that match in general though? Like throughout,
I've never cared for it. For them to now, whoever wins, the match will end. They'll now be doing this in the middle of the ring. Fuck off, man! Fuck off, man! I don't want to see that shit.
No, there was once upon a time I wanted to see it, but yeah, the bolt's gone now.
I do not care for that shit, man.
I want to see it now simply because of the progress Moxley has made.
It'll be even better now.
It'll be interesting. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see it.
It'll be interesting now because I feel like everyone's now settled into like what they truly are in it. To be fair, in terms of character work, I feel like Seth. I think that Seth, like in WWE, had like the most clear character arc. Like I feel like they've handled Seth's storyline the best out of the Shield. But like Roman is who he's supposed to be. Moxley's who he's supposed to be. Seth's who he's supposed to be. So it's like I feel like this is what these men have evolved. That these men are our final evolution. Like this is what these men are meant to be.
Yeah, if you're to look at it like that, I mean, when we have conversations, it's the greatest faction ever. Like, boy, in terms of what they accomplished as a faction, what they've accomplished separately as a result of the faction, these men are clear. They're on top of the industry. Yeah. Whether you watch this, that, and the other, they're on top of the industry. So, yeah, they've done a flipping good job, honestly.
Big facts, man. What else happened on AEW?
Oh, boy.
Oh, Dalton Castle and Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah, big match. That was cold.
Quack, quack, quack. Take that fucking belt off Woodlow. I don't want to see the TNT belt anymore. Give it to my nigga Dalton Castle, man.
No, I can't like Dalton Castle, yeah. Like, because I know TK said the basically ROH is going to be like.
Yeah, it's coming back, innit?
It's coming in 2020. Dalton Castle, AEW. Like, forget that. Don't forget ROH, but AEW. Like, TNT. Yeah. Dalton Castle, what? That entrance, I'm not like, listen, Dalton Castle in Ring of Honor 2009. I remember, because especially around 2016, he was getting, like, when Tyler Breeze was in NXT, people were saying, Tyler Breeze, Dalton Castle. I've always said Dalton Castle's clear. Dalton Castle's the king fashionista.
Triple H wanted him.
Yeah, Dalton Castle's that guy. And for him to just get the platform, bro, he look how over he was. And Bear Man on the timeline were like, Bear Man, and I'm sure a lot of the man in the arena as well probably weren't huge ROH guys or didn't know like who Dalton was. He made a statement. He made it. Those two, the appearance he had on Rampage and the appearance he had on Dynamite, Dalton Castle's that guy. And I can't lie, Chris Jericho saved that Ring of Honor title. He saved it. Because listen, we all know what happened to Jonathan Gresham. Listen, I have my opinions on him, but whatever.
They called him a madman, but he was right. They called Jonathan Gresham a madman, but he was right. He was right.
It should have been bad. I can't. It should have been Bandido instead of him for me. But anyway, that's a different question for a different day. It should have been Bandido instead of him. But listen, Claudio, it was a nice moment, but ain't do nothing. This is what the championship needed. It needed a guy of Chris Jericho's profile, and not only of Chris Jericho's profile, but look how already the guys he's defeated in his reign. He's got Bandido on the resume. He's got Danielson on the resume. He's got Dalton Castle, and then the little like Montage did before. He's probably gonna face bare other ROH guys. Hey, bring back Low Key, bring Homicide, bring all of these man. This reign,
Low Key.
Hey man, do something. I feel like like this Jericho reign, already the Ultra thing's over. I think this Jericho reign is gonna be
so cold.
It's gonna be the reign where we say finally, like and I said this when Jericho won the belt on Grand Slam. We're gonna be seeing this title main event in Dynamite because it's Chris Jericho. It's Chris Jericho. There's no way you can put Chris Jericho on the back burner. So let this reign continue. But like we always say, after this reign, it's gonna be scary again. But let's enjoy the reign for what it is, because after this it'll be scary. But right now it's good times. It's good times.
I mean, they have announced that they're going to be so obviously they got their final pay-per-view in December, and then they're going to try and bring final battle. Then they're going to be doing a weekly show in 2023. So I mean, we're just seized to see what happens with the show.
I think you should keep the title when the show. You shouldn't use the title before the show comes though. Like I don't. You should keep the title until like basically what it was with AEW. Like, it should be the first champion that people see on television should be Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I agree.
So have they announced it? Is it a streaming service? Is it TV? Have they announced it?
No, they've got plans for 2023 and that.
Yeah, I believe according to like Meltz and with them lot, it looks like a streaming service. It looks like
That's
it.
not bad.
But it looks like probably like HBO Max, like a Warner Brothers streaming service, innit? So
that's it.
Hey, just get it somewhere, innit?
The plug.
I hear that. I said the plug. What was I gonna say? Do you, after what happened the other on Dynamite, do you see Jerry Lynn putting on his boots and having a match with Jericho?
Please no.
The last match I watched them do in TNA was against RVD. And this was a fair few years ago, maybe like 6-7 years ago. God, my friend, please, it's okay.
Finished.
You're former Ring of Honor champion. The most you can do is like, you know what, I can't wrestle, but here's a former champion you can face. Keep it at that. Or maybe have him bring out his someone at final battle. Other than that, please, I don't want to see my goats injure themselves anymore. I'm tired. Tanahashi's already done. So Great Meter's already is retiring in January. Please, let's let people enjoy their flowers while they can.
So what Ring of Honor champions would you like to see Jericho face? Former Ring of Honor champions would you like to see Jericho face?
I mean, there's still a lot. I think we were speaking about this in the group chat the other day. That's the likes that he can come out and easily beat. We're talking, I guess Samoa Joe's there. What's his face? Christopher Daniels is backstage. Jay Lethal's there. These are just all kind of dynamite wins, and you see what I mean.
These men are cold, but they're not in AEW land. Nah, bro,
if I had it my way, it would be Jay Lethal to beat him. I'll be real. If I had it my way, but if there are any former champions, I would say beat him. It has to be Adam Cole.
I was gonna say, but isn't that like a backwards move for Adam Cole?
But why Adam Cole though?
Because Adam Cole is probably the greatest Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, that he's definitely like one of the higher profile ones.
Yeah,
especially if they want to start a streaming service and have someone that is recognizable there. Then but I almost feel like that's the answer, but that's a backwards move for Adam Cole and his career.
But you know what's mad? This is AEW's fault for making it look like that. Because generally, as we look at Ring of Honor is a 20-year-old company.
Yeah.
At one point, this was, regardless of whether it was a major company or minor company, this was one of the places to be. Whereas now, I'd rather go and wrestle in York Hall than go and wrestle in Ring of Honor. Do you know what I mean? So this is Ring of Honor's fault. This is AEW's fault. My thing is presentation is key. 100. You're having Ring of Honor matches, but you have Aubrey Edwards, whatever her fucking name is. She's one that's refereeing these matches. It doesn't even make the company seem like it's important. It's making it seem like they're just coming to wrestle because we have nothing. We just want to fill the match card. It's ridiculous.
No, I feel like what AEW, what Ring of Honor should go back to is like what Ring of Honor did. Ring of Honor had mad exports. You'd see, especially with New Japan guy, you'd see mad exports. You'd see just a lot of like if you deep some of the dream matches Ring of Honor has given us, bro. Bring that flavor to actual Ring of Honor. I feel like I'm not as doom and gloom on Ring of Honor yet because I want to see what the TV. But I understand the criticisms. I'm a bit more.
Gloomed.
Huh?
I'm doom and I'm gloom.
No, I know you are. I know you are. But I feel like this is what I wanted from the Jericho, from Ring of Honor in general. When Tony Khan bought it, I was like, cool. Using a guy like Jericho. Obviously, Ring of Honor is a big company, but like. Using a guy like Jericho to put put eyes on the Ring of Honor title, so that when even let's say a new up and coming guy beats him or a former talent beats him, it means something. Do you know what I'm saying? Because once the belt, whether it's booking, whether it's when the belt was on Claudio and Gresham, I'm thinking, who gives a damn? And that's due to
people did give a damn when Gresham had the belt because remember he was wrestling around the world. He was defending it like a world title.
The beginning.
Mainly most of it. Remember he was in the UK.
I would say, but
it's when he lost it. He didn't have when he lost it because remember he was wrestling in GCW. He was wrestling in Impact. He was wrestling in the UK.
Because he won the belt at the end of last year at Final Battle, didn't he?
Yeah, end of last year.
Until
he lost it.
He was taking it around the world.
It's when he now got my friend, you're dropping the belt, and he decided to not come out his octopus jacket. And Claudio had the belt. That's when it was like
man was throwing temper tantrum and didn't come out in his attire.
You know what I mean? So like you said, Chris Jericho, whoever beats him, it's a massive rub.
Yeah,
massive. It's just a matter of
what happens next.
Will we still look at this belt as what we see the belt is now? And the first step is that it's changing the design because this design fucking sucks.
Oh, 100%.
Go back to the old design.
When did the design change?
Your boy
Gresham.
Heritage tax.
Because Bandido was had COVID in it, so he couldn't wrestle. He didn't defend the title. So then they said, let's bring back this old belt. So then it was him versus Jay Lethal for the belt. He won it, and then obviously they've done the unification, and obviously he kept the old one. And then they're still doing this with the tag team. Don't get me started on this fucking Ring of Honor tag team belts. Don't get me started on this AAA tag. FTR need to lose those AAA tag team belts. I'm tired.
Have they defended it?
Yeah. I said
Triple Mania was the other day. They didn't.
They weren't even there. I'm sure they defended it against Kalisto and what's it, Aerostar or whatever.
Aerostar, yeah.
And
They're not even.
They should drop the Ring of Honor belts and drop the AAA belts and go to Japan. Give us the bangers in Japan. Give the Ring of Honor belts to fucking Wardrobe or something. I don't know.
No, you don't want that, bro. You don't want that.
No, please. I don't even care about Ring of Honor anymore. I'm tired. TK has broken my heart. So give the belt to Wardrobe. In fact, give it to Penelope Ford. And
Penelope.
Give it to Penelope. Or give it to Best Friends. Give it to someone. Let FTR go and cook in Japan. We're holding them back with these Ring of Honor belts.
Maybe seriously, give the Ring of Honor belts to what's their name? Gun Club. They could be an all right little young tag team that I don't.
Stop doing your face, because more time than not, you don't care about the Ring of Honor belts. So give it to people who don't give a shit about.
No, I care about bangers, innit? I care about at least this is the match with bang booking. I don't want to see the Gun Club.
You're right, but at the same time, like you have to. Although they're never gonna admit it, Ring of Honor is basically gonna be AEW's NXT. They're gonna use it as a place to cultivate talent and then pick the very best to come and join AEW TV. So obviously, my man's dad is there in it, in Billy Gunn. So they're gonna have to do something with these boys eventually, innit? And
if I
had it my way, the Briscoes would have won the 2 out of 3 Falls match.
Fair enough.
If I had it my way, the Briscoes
the second one
won the 2 out of 3 Falls match. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Give Billy Gunn the television title. Give him the television title. Give what's his name? I don't even know what's his name. Give that pizza man the pure title. I'll do this company. They all blame me. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting this fight. So you can't trick us. Big up Jericho though, man. The Ocho.
Yeah, he's doing his bit, man. But yeah, I don't know how they're gonna raise the profile of everything else, like we're saying. We'll have to see in it.
They need to market it better. That's what it's coming down to.
Wait, hold on. The women's champion, where is she? Where's the women's champion?
What's her face again?
Mercedes
Martinez.
She's been injured. No pin, nothing.
So okay, hold on.
Give that to Nyla Rose, man. What the fuck?
When was the place Purrazzo?
I hear that.
When Deonna Purrazzo couldn't defend the title, they came and done interim championship, which Mercedes won. So Mercedes has been inactive for so long now, and even they have precedence with Thunder Rosa. Where's the interim champion for ROH women's title?
Willow was fucking right there. Why the fuck did this girl win the belt?
Yeah,
Willow was right there.
That was the initial mistake. Like
it
should have been.
Talent. She should have won the belt.
Willow should have beaten Mercedes Martinez in that final, especially because the fact that they're not really going to book, not that I want Willow to have a dead run, but they're clearly not that invested in it. So they could have just made Willow the champion anyway, sort of thing.
Simple.
Well, yeah, we'll see. What's I going to say? Tony Storm. What do you lot think of Tony Storm and Shida?
It was a good match. No, Tony, you see the Athena rant we went on, yeah? It was wrong. It was for Tony Storm. Do you know why? It was for Tony Storm. Yeah,
I don't think it was wrong. I think at the time it was correct.
Yeah. But now
yeah.
Do you know it's even more so for Tony Storm? I saw a stat that shocked me. You know, Tony Storm ain't missed the episode of Dynamite since she's coming to the company.
That's work rate.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
It's not impressive because I'm not impressed. How can you? This one, the women's division is always put like trash. Don't get it twisted. Like I'm never deflecting the blame from TK. However, you have not impressed me. You've been every week in, week out. We've been playing, and if I say favorite Tony Storm match in AEW.
I'm thinking back maybe the Thunder Rosa one at the pay-per-view. Was that Forbidden Door?
Yeah.
That's probably it. But if you're saying, yeah, for the amount of TV time she's had, then I agree with you that she's not really like overperforming or really showing herself. I would agree with you there. For all that TV time, yeah, she ain't got.
And she's been put in with good people. With good people.
So what? Are you saying that she's performing averagely? That she's average?
I don't know, because here's the thing. I know Toni Storm's good. Here's the thing. This is why I feel like I've been tricked, because I saw this go in NXT. I saw the look on the Stardom. Toni Storm is good. I'm not gonna say like the rosters, the AEW Women's roster talent-wise comparable to NXT, but there's some gal there that can wrestle. You got the Sheeders, you got the Deebs, you got the Rihos, you've got Athena, you've got Britt Baker's decent. You've got gal there that can do a little something. But the fact that I'm struggling to remember matches, was I tricked?
It is. You see Toni Storm here. Do you know what she's reminding me of at the moment?
What?
She's reminding me of Ice Spice when she raps. Like, you know the talent is there, but you can see that she's not bothered. Like, Ice Spice raps as if like, you know, I'm just saying words because I can, and you're just gonna look at me because I'm sexy. That's what I'm looking at Toni Storm at the moment. Toni Storm knows that she's great and she knows she's good looking, but I'm just not seeing that dog in her that I've seen in her Stardom run, in her NXT UK run, her NXT stuff. Okay. It's like I'm seeing little glimpses here and there, but for the most part, it's like I'm watching it and I'm thinking, I can do without this match. That's how I'm feeling.
Okay, so that makes me think, because generally there's this thing in sport where when you're wrestling someone, in this case, that your competitor's not of your level, you don't perform. Like, because that competitive edge ain't there. So is it maybe a thing that Toni Storm hasn't got enough equals? Because, you know, if we're to rank the women's division in terms of ability, we know Toni Storm is, you know, probably top 3 of that current AEW women's crop. Top 3, top 5. So maybe she's wrestling people that she's not getting the best out of, and she can't raise her level because it's just, you know.
And the chemistry is a real thing, isn't it? But I mean, for the most part, like we said, she's facing the likes of Deeb, she's facing the Sheeders. Like, these are people that are, for me personally, either on your level or
top
maybe
5.
Had, you know, they're around your ranks. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it's a chemistry thing. Maybe she's just at a point where it's like, you know what, I'm trying to slow down a little bit, and then as time goes on, I'll kind of like speed up. Maybe she's just waiting for Thunder Rosa to come back so that way she can put on an absolute banger. But I mean, I don't even feel like Thunder Rosa's even next in top 5. I don't think Thunder Rosa's that good.
Jamie Hayter's better than her.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, maybe like you just said something, though. Maybe she's waiting to be the actual women's champion as opposed to interim to really start, you know,
showing the bangers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And even now, the women's stuff, there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of involvement with like the Jamie Hayters, the Britt Bakers, then you got the Saraya stuff. It's like there's nothing like where I can look at Toni Storm and be like, you know what, this title run is basically solely focused on you. There's a lot of different playing points where it's like
she's playing second fiddle right now in
She got
Saraya.
she got overshadowed by Riho today.
Yeah,
Riho's cold though.
Yeah. She's playing second fiddle, and as women's champion, you know, holding a belt, a singles title, like Saraya's in front of her, the Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, the crowd are crazy behind, like, you know, Jade Cargill, of course, and then Toni Storm probably comes in there somewhere afterwards. Like, yeah, she's not being positioned the best, so
it's karma, anyways. Because when she came in, that's how I felt about Thunder Rosa. I felt like I don't really care about Thunder Rosa because Toni Storm's here now. So it's payback. GBG. Get back.
No, back gag. I hear it. Why? Anything else happen at AEW?
The trios match.
That was a good match.
That was a good match. Do you think Pac, with this hammer thing and obviously Phoenix stopping him, is that gonna play out into something, you reckon?
I love Death Triangle. But at some point we gotta let that shit go.
100%.
We gotta let that shit go.
I'm done with it already, if I'm completely honest.
Pac needs to go out and shine by himself. The All Atlantic, I wasn't satisfied. It didn't fill me up.
Yeah,
it wasn't the meal that I wanted.
Because I think the competitors weren't there really.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Give it to Orange Cassidy. Let's just get the bangers. I'm happy with that. But I'm ready for Pac to. I don't know when, because at this point it seems like when it comes to the world title, it's very formulaic on who has it and who the opponents will be. It's very much thought out in it. But when we now get to the point where Pac is challenging for the world title, I'll be very much awake.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Death Triangle.
Every eye will open, every ear will hear, bro. When Pac is in that picture, dangerous sight.
I'm also waiting for a Penta singles run. Penta on the singles run.
I think all of them.
Yeah, all of them, yeah.
All of them. But for me, like character-wise, I think Phoenix will be good because he's Phoenix in it. But I feel like out of the three, if I was to pick one that will kind of struggle, will be Phoenix.
Yeah, I would agree.
But Phoenix will still be good. But yeah, I feel like.
But why would you say Phoenix will struggle? How comes?
In terms of what?
In terms
character,
of
for me, character.
Oh, okay.
Character.
Is it because he's only been seen as like a baby face?
I just think Penta's way more interesting. As like, don't get me wrong, if we were to say, we're going to a random house show, who do I want to watch wrestle, Penta or Phoenix? I'll probably watch Phoenix wrestle. So if I want to like see a storyline unfold or see this character week to week, Penta's a ridiculous character. Like as a character, he's ridiculous.
It makes sense why you said that, because even if you look back in Lucha Underground as well, Penta had the great character.
The story arc was amazing.
Bangers, you know.
The story arc was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what happens when, you know, Death Triangle decides to implode.
Them feuding against each other will be a good starting point and then branch off.
Yeah.
From there.
I don't think I even want to see that. I just want them to branch off, just slowly drift off, you know, without having to beef each other.
Pac has to be front of them, at least.
No. Yeah.
He has to be front of them, at least.
Yeah.
We have to see it. Pac that will show up to press runs. Everybody else will be in suits, so he'll be in his pants.
Kick pads. Ready for the war.
Ready to fight, fam.
Ready to fight. Proper Englishman he is.
Trust me, fam. Should we quickly head on to WWE quickly?
Yeah. I don't think. What was the main thing? JBL, Baron Corbin,
Bobby Lashley,
Lesnar. Yeah, that's confirmed.
They better do us right by that.
I don't
care.
Bro,
after that last one, I'm alright, cuz. Prove me wrong. I'm alright. I'm not full if you can't do, but you can at least trip me once. I won't let you trip me twice. I'm not allowing it. Trip me once. I won't let you trip me twice.
This is the Paul Levesque era. I have faith in this feud. After what happened on Monday, Lashley looked strong. After he just battered Lesnar, they were all cheering for Lashley, bro.
No. You see that Royal Rumble vignette? I'm so sorry. I'm annoyed because I watched it with you, but I was. You man saw me at Hooked on Wrestling. I wasn't really giving a damn about the pay-per-view. That vignette, I woke up. I said, "Wow, Lashley versus Lesnar. It's time."
Well.
If I'm wrong, whatever. But we were tricked. Let's be real.
I remember the best thing about that match was Roman dashing the WWE champion.
Bro, that was the crazy moment of the year. For me, I think that's one of my favorite moments of the year. Like, if we were to do like a wrestling's award and we spoke about our favorite moment, for me, in terms of like, bro, the nonchalance in him throwing that belt is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I can't even describe it.
His
that was the
facial expression was crazy.
And the fact that Bobby won and MVP was celebrating as if he had done something. My nigga,
he's a joke, man.
I sit down, my friend. What the fuck? You're there putting your arms up, celebrating. I'm sweating. I worked hard. My nigga, you got pummeled.
But Bobby was a heel then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I guess that's why the celebration in it. But
low key, I'm invested. I can't lie.
You
the
know
way Bobby dealt with Brock this week, I'm low key invested. And because it's Crown Jewel, I can't lie. Crown Jewel hasn't missed for a year or two.
It's not.
Yeah.
So I have faith that this. So
you think Bobby's going over again?
I don't know. That's the only thing.
I don't think Bobby will necessarily go over, but I think the match will at least, it should be better than what we got.
I don't see Brock with the US title. You know, I don't want it.
It's not for the US title. It's just a singles
title.
match. Yeah. It's just singles.
No. The way they're presenting Lashley now, he's strong. You know, he's not a punk. You know,
he was never a punk though.
He was never a punk though. He was always strong.
He was always strong. That's the problem,
bro. In the last feud, he was getting flung, bro. They were swinging him. They was tearing his singlet, bro. They were tearing it. Now, bro, this time Bobby's a threat. Bro, back then, where he couldn't defend his title because of a headache, bro, it's not happening this time.
Yeah, that was nonsense.
Bro, Bobby is a threat. Man speared Lesnar through the barricade, dashed him across the table. Bro, come on, man. This is 06.
I better be wrong. That's what I'm saying. I want to be wrong with it. Because if I'm not wrong,
what are you talking about?
This is the Lashley.
This affinity you have to 06 Lashley. I don't understand it. He was food. He was low-key food.
Yeah,
bro.
He was struggling to beat Finley. Come on, man.
Nah. He was powerful, dominant.
This guy's gassed off the Master Lock segment, fam.
Yeah, Master Lock segments.
No, listen, I want to be wrong in it because if I'm not wrong, this was members of the podcast's dream match, innit? So it better deliver at some point because what the hell? What kind of dream match is this, fam? This is Nightmare on Elm Street, fam.
Like, I'm giving it a second chance because it's Triple H's era. At the same time, I'm thinking, will Brock pull it out for Bobby? Like, will they actually work together to put on a genuinely good match? I mean,
to be fair,
like Del said,
now, though.
Yeah, like Del said, generally Crown Jewel has been good in recent times, and he is a lot more generous, and he is doing a lot more character related stuff and selling for other people. So ideally, this match is going to be the match we should have got in the first place. There's no belts attached either, so we don't need to get a Roman getting it, interfering. There's no one else has to be invested in this. Basically, it's just these two men warring each other, which is basically what it should have always been. A championship at WrestleMania would have been ideal, but again, you never know if you're going to get a clean finish. But there is no reason for us not to get some type of good dominant match between these guys and a somewhat at least clean finish that says, all right, this guy undoubtedly beat the other guy. So
we need a press conference.
Yeah,
like
UFC.
They need to run it UFC style, 100.
Bro, we need a press conference.
So what was the press conference? Oh, sorry, Logan Paul and Roman. My bad.
Yeah.
For Lashley and Lesnar too, we need that press conference.
We need a media squad of them, man.
No, but it needs to be a brawl though. We need Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, fam. Them man come up and then they tear up the set.
And scatter each
other. Are brawling into the background.
That would be good. Obviously, we got like maybe 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks till Crown Jewel. So if they done like maybe like a contract signing, because they already penned the match in it, so a contract signing to pen the match or whatever the case is, and then you had like maybe Brock gets his heat back in the press conference, gets the upper hand on Bobby Lashley or something like that.
Do you know what WWE should do more? They've done it like 2 times. I think of obviously Rollins and Riddle and then Samoa Joe and Brock. You know when they do those interviews, those like segments where it's backstage, somebody's mic'd up in one room, other person's mic'd up. Bring that back for Brock and for Brock and Lashley.
Like when combat fighters do like the face to face, where it's like they're in a dark room.
Yeah,
they probably have like Wade Barrett in the middle. They have Bobby Lashley here. Brock Lesnar
that's
here.
a shout. That's a shout.
Production would be sick, fam. I think, man. Because these are 2 fighters at the end of the day. Like, really and truly, outside of them facing before, there's no real story as to why Bobby and Brock came back to beat up Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean?
Just picked on him.
Just picked on him for no reason and cost him the belt. So it'll be sick to see, man. Like, is it fair to give it another chance? I think it is. Could we be disappointed? There is a chance, but like for the most part, for what I saw on Monday night, I'm invested because Bobby at least looked like a threat. Do you know what I mean? If it was a thing where he's just come in to do Bobby who, then it's like maybe because I wasn't watching Raw them times, I didn't foresee Bobby getting pummeled. So I didn't see with the Bobby who until recently when I was looking for a GIF for the Art Wrestlings today.
No, but the problem is people were gassed. No, that's the thing. People were still gassed during that time, and I was like, cool. The only thing that got me properly was the vignette.
I think it's the vignette that got
the vignette.
The vignette was the one that I said, you know what?
Where this is money.
It's the comparisons. It's the way they were saying this guy started his career here as an amateur wrestler. So did this guy. This guy went off into the army, and then this guy done this. And the way they just drew all the comparisons, championship wins, both in WWE champion together. But then after that match, you just clearly saw night and day. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are in a completely different tier to where they see Bobby Lashley, who was probably third in the company at the time, but he's just nowhere near them, like nowhere near.
I don't know what Bobby Lashley that was. That wasn't Lashley. That was Schmurder, fam. That was not the correct. That was not the Bobby. That was Schmurder. Hey,
it wasn't Bobby Lashley. It was Bobby Lickens. Now we have Bobby Lashley.
You're fucking crazy.
Now we have Bobby Lashley.
You're actually crazy, man.
Yeah, we deserve this. We deserve this, and yeah, I don't mind Crown Jewel being the kind of offshore place where we get a good match between these lot.
Yeah, no facts.
But yeah, it should be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
How does everyone feel about Damage Control?
Like,
I'm hearing it's not working.
You know what it is? It's one of these things where, for me, first and foremost, if you're a faction, you're a tag team, aesthetically, you need to look alike. You need to, like, that's it. Something needs to mesh. They're just three different people. Like, it's Io Shirai obviously is speaking very little English in the promos and stuff like that. So she doesn't even really feel really included. Dakota Kai is like, right now, her act just seems to be probably more like mid-card women's division or something. Like, Bailey is obviously Bailey, innit? She's very good at what she does, and she's still getting back into the swing of things herself. They're being featured prominently. They're the women's tag team champions, so you can't necessarily complain. But I feel like more right now, rather than kind of, we've seen Judgment Day has been an organic getting over with the crowd, with the fans and everything like that. These lot are they're just giving everything. They're just on TV a lot, giving everything, giving all the positions. But I don't really know. Well, I doubt that they're really actually getting over, like, at all. They're just being featured a lot, if that makes sense. But yeah.
I mean, I was with it. Like, I was on board when it first happened. When I saw them all together, I was like, but as time was getting on, I was just starting to feel like, I just don't feel like Io and Dakota Kai, they don't have chemistry together. I just don't feel like they mesh well as a tag team. And then I saw their finisher, and I said, "Good God, this is we're starving. We're actually struggling."
What's their finisher?
It's like, so think of Aussie Open's finisher.
Yeah.
But rather than like twist it and slam down, it's like they go backwards. So it's like it's shit, man. It's not a finisher. It's something you do just as a transition move.
I'm not invested in that part of the product. So
I mean, I want them to do well. Hopefully, as time goes on, like Mek said, organically things start to kind of mesh well together. But for now, I just kind of shut off. And it seems like too many things are happening at once. They've got the stuff that they're doing with Bianca Belair. Now, obviously, Candice LeRae is kind of involved now. It's like there's just so much happening. I don't know.
I think a better option would have been maybe putting Candice LeRae in Damage Control, as opposed to Io Shirai, and then bringing up Io Shirai as her own entity. I think because at least between Bailey, Candice, and Dakota Kai, they at least all color their hair or something. There's some kind of aesthetic tie they could have done there. But
bro, even what's it called? Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Yeah, that they've obviously dropped the ball with that one sort of thing. And Indy Hartwell's doing nothing in NXT.
Bro,
like absolutely nothing.
She's there in the background. Turning along.
So yeah, I mean, Triple H obviously just wanted to get Dakota Kai back into the company. Io Shirai had been doing a lot of nothing in NXT. He wanted to do something with them, but I think we can see now like that this isn't necessarily the answer.
I don't think that was a long-term plan with them. It was just exciting to have them all come back at once, but
yeah, now you can see it's not really
the novelty is worn off.
Yeah, and I think if Bailey especially doesn't become women's champion within this run, then it's like, to me, the faction hasn't worked.
Yeah,
because they just like maybe Bailey's then just mentoring these two, but Bailey needs to almost become women's champion to then say, right, the faction have all the gold. This is a dominant faction and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something for the women's, the women's side of things, which I guess they always just struggle to book in general anyway.
They're in a dangerous position with it because Sasha Banks just needs to return and you'll forget about Damage Control. It'll be overshadowed.
You know what? Quickly, I saw Sasha Banks is attending. I can't even remember what it was now. It's popped up on my feed. Sasha Banks will be at this, and the other, or whatever. I was just thinking to myself, Sasha Banks is popping up everywhere apart from where she actually works. Do you not think Sasha Banks is actually coming back to WWE? Like,
not for a while, can't it? It's going to be a minute. It's going to be like a good minute. It's going to be like she's
next
gonna,
year.
Marinate for time.
Next year, you reckon, or
maybe next year. I say around June next year. She's coming back though. Like she's coming back. Like where else she's gonna go?
I mean, the internet is saying obviously Survivor Series this year is in Boston.
What does that mean?
That seems very. That's it. What is that?
That's a hometown, nigga.
That's her hometown. So it could be that she.
Do you think there's a spot for her? Do you think there's a play? Obviously, there's always a spot for Sasha. But what I mean is that is there a vacancy that she can fill right now?
War Games.
Yeah. Sasha's not home.
She can walk into War Games.
Sasha's not home, bro.
I mean,
where is she then?
Anywhere but where WWE is right now. She's not home.
I don't know. I don't right now. I just feel like she's enjoying life.
Even Naomi.
Yeah. The paradigm. I don't know. I can't see like where they're gonna come back. I can't plot it out. Like I feel they will, but it's just where at this point.
I love Naomi to death, yeah. And obviously under Triple H, I don't know, who knows, innit? But do you see things really changing for her if she was to come back? Like in terms of positioning, in terms of like her being fit, like Triple H can't save it. Here's the thing, Triple H ain't gonna save everyone.
Yeah, he can't save everyone. And I don't think Naomi was the first FCW women's champion.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Del, maybe you know. I don't think Triple H was in charge when she was in FCW.
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, I don't think Triple H was in charge that far back because I think he took over when it was NXT. Like Naomi is obviously good. Like I always say it. Like for someone that's been in WWE for so long, like how she's only had these 2 little title reigns is just throughout all of these eras when Divas was here doing nonsense and stuff. Like you could have never made Naomi champion then. At least like it doesn't make sense to me. Like so, I know the field of play has changed a bit, but I think Naomi could at least come back and serve a role as like a credible challenger for whoever the champions are if they don't want to kind of commit to Naomi. But at the same time, you know, Naomi and Sasha Banks have went out to the world now and almost changed their fortune, getting a lot of mainstream success and eyes on them. And especially because of the way WWE do business, you'd almost say it's kind of silly if you don't put the belts on these guys to then have these blogs and all these other places saying, oh, that woman that was at Fashion Week, look, she's the WWE champion or something like that. Like it can work in that way as well. So I mean the first thing is when are they gonna return in it? But like I don't think like you're saying, NK, that Naomi will become like, you know, some 13 times Charlotte Flair over the next year or whatever the case is. But I think they're gonna be in prominent positions because of their profile has raised.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I think Naomi, she's a great talent, and I loved it when she became women's champion, and it was unfortunate that she had to relinquish it because she got injured. But I feel as though she wouldn't be able to get to Sasha's level simply because of the time she's coming to WWE. If she came in like around Sasha's time, I think her story will be completely different, and that she will be getting that Charlotte and Sasha Banks kind of treatment. You know? So
maybe she's tainted by starting at a time when women's wrestling was basically next to nothing in WWE.
That's what I'm basically saying.
That makes sense.
It's the same as who's that? Natalia.
Yeah.
Same as her. If she came during NXT time when Triple H was in charge, it'll be a different story, you know.
But I look at Natalia as someone that's way more revered than Naomi is. Like, I feel like Naomi should be looked at the way people look at Natalia, where
100%.
she should be winning titles here and there. She should be, you know, having prominent title shots when she can. Like, she should be able to go up and down the card and not looked at as like, oh yeah, she's underrated. Like, that's because Naomi, for the most part, and commentators always say it, pound for pound, is one of the best athletes in WWE, period. So the fact that she's not treated like that, and then it took for Beyonce to tweet about, oh yeah, this is my daughter's favorite wrestler, for them to still not even, you know, go heavy on her and shoot her to the moon.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a serious problem, man.
No, it's true.
Serious problem. So for Naomi, I don't know.
What can she do? She's done everything.
Probably has to do OnlyFans at this point. That's probably the only way people will take her seriously. That's probably the only way people. That's probably the only way they'll take her seriously if she does OnlyFans.
Any other wrestler, that one there is a gem. We don't play around.
No, of course not. You know what I mean? But it just goes to show that, bro, like, really and truly, with the talent that Naomi has, with the tenure that she's had, she should be up and down the card, and she should at least be a 5-time women champion.
Yeah,
I'm sure has had more championship reigns than she's had.
Yeah, because not even to be deep, obviously I understand the appeal of this person. I don't mean to, like, she gets a lot of, like, criticism online, but like someone like an Alexa Bliss, Alexa Bliss, like, when you look back at her career, she's had a good career. You're gonna look back at her favorite, but it's like, yeah, but it's like, raw, like, couldn't, like, Naomi should be looked at. In my opinion, Naomi's a better athlete, better talent. Naomi should have been afforded the similar opportunities to someone like an Alexa Bliss, to where Alexa Bliss isn't like on the horsewoman level or even on a Bianca Belair level, but she's on a level where it's like, nah, this is a name in the division that we will remember for like years to come. And we'll remember Naomi because of the talent, but in terms of like history books or notable runs, it's going to be hard because of the way they've positioned her and booked her.
If I'm correct, with just on the Alexa Bliss example, she got called up, and within about 2.5 years maximum, she was a 5-time women's champion, like 3 times on SmackDown, 2 times on Raw, or something like that. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, to have that many title reigns in that time is ridiculous in itself. But for someone, and not to dig at her, but someone of Alexa Bliss is a good character, is a very good character. But I just don't feel like, this is what I mean when we're talking about someone like Naomi, that after about 10 years of service, it's only in about the 9th, 10th year where she won the SmackDown Women's Championship for the first time.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss is like Sheamus, and Naomi is like fucking Kofi Kingston. Bro, it's crazy. Like, for Alexa Bliss to come into the main roster so quick. Remember, her tenure in NXT wasn't even that long.
She didn't do much.
She wasn't wrestling bare. She was a valet, innit?
Yeah, she had the cheerleader gimmick, and then she ended up being with Blake and Murphy, and then ended up going straight to the main roster. And within a year, she probably won the title. Similar to Sheamus. Sheamus was on the main roster of ECW Raw, maybe 9 months. Beat John Cena.
Okay.
Beat John Cena. Do you know what I mean? And granted, what people can say what they want to say about Naomi, whether they feel she's had bangers or whatever. But in terms of the talent she's displayed and the tenure that she's had, compared to a lot of the wrestlers that have come in, she should have been treated way better than a lot of. She should have been treated way better. And even if it's at least a 4-time title reign, I would have been satisfied with that.
Yeah, that's where she should be. Definitely, that's what her CV should say at this time. But we can only wait and see if, you know, her and Sasha do return, if this whole period of them being outside has raised their profile somewhat, and it's like, okay, let's do something. And surely, if they're going to return, there's probably going to be like, right, this is what we need out of this run, sort of thing. Otherwise, we're not doing it.
This is the thing, Sasha.
They return, there needs to be a long-term plan with them. Don't just say, you're back, you know, we're going to do this for you. What is the goal? There has to be
I definitely don't think so. I mean, Sasha knows that these lot in charge now care more about women's wrestling than obviously the previous regime. But like, I 100% think Sasha does not return if there isn't a long-term plan.
Yeah, Sasha will be fine. Like, Sasha, listen, that's Triple H's. That's the golden child. You know what I'm saying? As H, Sasha will be fine. It's because I feel like what will most likely happen, because Sasha and Naomi left because of the tag titles. They're gonna come back and like give them the proper reign that they deserved, innit? But it's once that goes away, what does Naomi do? Because Sasha, even under Vince, Sasha was Sasha. Now you got Triple H, who's their father. Like, she's gonna be clear. She's gonna be fine. It's Naomi where I'm gonna be people are gonna be looking at with a fine eye, saying, okay, where do we go from here?
Realistically, what I would say is you split them following that, and then maybe Naomi just becomes, like we say, the challenger. I can't really see them doing much in terms of making her a champion, unfortunately, but at least a realistic position would be, yeah, she's a credible challenger to whoever's champion and all that kind of stuff. And then I think Sasha deserves a monster run. Like, the type of run where we saw her in NXT where she was the boss and she was just moving mad, like no one could chat to her. Like, all now, Sasha hasn't had that run in WWE. No matter how many, I think she's maybe a 5-7 time women's champion or something like that. She still hasn't had that one dominant run where she just scattered the entire division like we all know that she can. And I think she at least deserves something like that.
I hear that.
I agree.
You don't want to ask WRESTHINGS?
Yeah, let's quickly do Ask WRESTHINGS. Quickly get it up. Well, whilst I look for it, Ask WRESTHINGS, where we get you, the people, to ask us WRESTHINGS some questions. One sec. First question's from our guy Blacksmith Apparel. Big up every single time, bro. He asks, where would EC3 be now if he had stuck with the top 1% gimmick instead of watching Fight Club too many times?
I don't know.
Not far. Because even in NXT, bro, like they never. He was food. Like that's one of like the few fumbles of Black and Gold. EC3 was food.
At the time he came in, I said, boy. At the time he came in, yeah, the show was just super stacked, man. Although he's a very good character, like, bruv, Adam Cole and them man were just running riot. Like, there's too many man there in that exact same space that he occupies, and he just didn't. He drowned in it.
And what he isn't what NXT was looking for at that time. Like, did I care about his in-ring stuff? Nah, I didn't really care.
No.
But in terms of his promo stuff, he was one to watch. But you're on NXT, nobody cares for promos. We're here for bangers after bangers after bangers. It's banger by this year, isn't it? So,
you reckon EC3 when he came into NXT, he probably should have just went straight to main roster with his character?
Yeah, I think so.
But the thing is, I don't know how they would have slot him in though.
I don't. The problem is, you're right in terms of main roster is more for him, but then even then, I don't know what would have happened for him. I don't think it would have been good for him either. There.
The funny part is when he got to main roster, if you lot remember, his gimmick was that he never spoke. He couldn't speak or whatever the case was.
I didn't understand that. You took away a man's number one gift.
Like, and this is the gift that WWE values the most. In terms of presentation, that's what at the time it wasn't about the wrestling. It was about how can you market yourself, kid? How can you sell yourself? This Ethan Carter, the fan, was amazing at that.
The only thing he done of note was he beat Dean Ambrose, innit? He beat him on his way out, sort of thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's over for EC3. I don't give a shit about him.
Control your narrative.
Even his control your narrative Mandem left to come back to WWE.
Who left, man?
They shagged him. Who's left?
In control your narrative?
Yeah.
Trust EC3 and the jobbers that he hires.
Right back.
I'm not saying nothing for Rab Black blocks me again.
Come block.
Next question from our guy, Groovy Jimmy. He asks, what's the best match of Roman's championship run?
Ooh, Roman and Brock.
The SummerSlam one.
Yeah.
You think?
I think that's it.
Yeah,
I liked his match at was it the top of last
Cena.
year? The Cena match was good.
A proper light Cena.
The Kevin Owens match. Was that the one that was, where is it? Was it
Royal
No
Rumble?
Holds Barred?
Last man standing.
Last man standing.
It
was cold until the finish, man.
Until Kevin Owens should have
like
been.
the
I'm still
finish,
angry that Kevin Owens is not running up his mouth that he should be champion.
The triple threat match last year at Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania.
Danielson and Edge.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that was a good match.
Next question from my guy Groovy Jimmy. What controversial booking decision did you agree with? Could be from any company or era.
The Montreal screw job.
You agreed with it?
100%.
Oh, Lloyd is fuming. I know Lloyd is
100%.
His head's burning.
I know Kinetic is fuming.
Just on the basis of I'm the booker here and this is how I want to do stuff. And you want to say, oh, no, let's do it this way. And then I'll drop the belt over there on this day. It gives me no guarantee. And ultimately, yeah, I'm in charge here. I write how this show happens. So if you don't want to play ball and I can't trust you to play ball, my guy, I'm calling Triple H and I'm calling Shawn Michaels and this is what we're doing. So, yeah.
I hear it. What about you guys?
I don't even know. I'm controversial. I don't even know.
I think foresight for me now is that Triple H beating Booker T was the correct decision. 100%. That was a perfect decision. Perfect. Absolutely amazing decision. In fact, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I can't think of any right now.
12-year-old me 100% believed that was the correct decision as well. But since then, I've watched it back and I've watched like obviously the whole promos, the weeks that led up to that.
And even the one after.
How did they do this? Like, how did they get away with this?
I got one. Lesnar beating Taker at WrestleMania.
You agree with it? Yeah, I agree with it as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm still on the fence. If you know, I mean, it did take Lesnar to another level, but where I think Undertaker said in the past that should have ideally been Roman. Like, I mean, it would have obviously made the Roman experiment at the time actually probably work, as opposed to how it did go for 5 years before we now have the tribal chief. Yeah, I don't mind Brock Lesnar winning, but I do think, like Undertaker saying, it like Brock was a made man. It probably should have been someone else.
It should have been a lot of other people. It should have been Orton. It should have been Edge. I mean, not Edge. It should have been Batista. It should have been CM Punk.
It should have been none of those guys.
None of them, man. None of them, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You don't think it should have been Punk? Not Punk?
I love Punk to death. His match in the streak went exactly the way it should have. Philip Brooks. No. And this ain't even elite tax. This is like, no.
Why?
Nah, he don't need it. He don't need it.
But then this is the argument. Did Brock need it?
The run he was having that time, something like that.
No, what Philip Brooks needed was to main event WrestleMania. Not that.
Bro,
not the streak.
It's either main event WrestleMania or give the guy the streak.
Main event WrestleMania easily. You're not giving CM Punk the streak, bro. Are you mad?
Look what he's doing now. You think the person that defeats the streak is now inciting people to bite?
What, you didn't know he was going to be doing this.
Bite niggas. Personally, I think Brock was the perfect person to beat it. If there's anyone to destroy Undertaker, it has to be Brock Lesnar.
I don't know, innit? Like, I'm always I'm conflicted in it because I would have wanted it to. It didn't make Brock unstoppable, but I'm always conflicted about the streak. I don't have a concrete answer of who, but I don't know. I just felt like maybe someone new in it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what Undertaker was saying. It should have been like, and he knows backstage, like he knew Roman was.
Because at the end of the day,
so he was thinking, why wasn't it Roman? Like,
the only reason why Brock wasn't unbeatable was because Cena beat him on his return, and then Triple H beat him on his return. So it's like, bro, you shagged the guy from. You should have been flogging these man time ago.
Yeah,
that's why Brock needs reheated. I don't know if I have a controversial decision. Main event Mafia just any main event Mafia did was excellent. Yeah, that's it. That's main event Mafia.
That's not booking decision. That's
I don't care, fam. I don't care. That's a tier ranking decision. What was a good booking decision? I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out something in TNA that was good. That was controversial. I don't even know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, cool. Next question from our guy, Mr. Frimpong. Big you up, bro. He asked, should Dominic retire Rey Mysterio? If not, who do you think should do it?
No one. Let Rey Mysterio just ride off into the sunset. If Rey Mysterio disappeared from programming right now, I wouldn't notice.
If WWE liked luchas, do an upcoming lucha guy. Why not? Passing of the torch shit, but no, I blame Mexicans, fam. They don't like them over there. Still.
If they got an Andrade back,
yeah,
him and Andrade could have a good kind of
yeah
retirement match or something like that.
If Alberto Del Rio wasn't a weirdo, maybe.
I like that guy as well as a wrestler, bro.
I don't think. I mean, with Dominic, I'd rather him do something like a hair versus mask match, and he takes his dad's mask rather than retire his dad, sort of thing. Something that's disrespectful that will make him kind of cook even more, sort of thing, amongst the fans.
I'm starting to like Dominic a lot, you know.
He's definitely turned the corner.
He's building his own character, which is good.
It's overdue.
If I had it my way, I'll let WWE bring in Ultimate Dragon for them to have one more match, and then
is he still wrestling?
Yeah, he had the match in Noah like a few months ago.
Retiring.
Mad.
This guy was moving fast. I was thinking, this nigga, you're like 40, 50, bro.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Next, another question from my guy, Mr. Frimpong. Is there anyone else you would like to see Triple H bring back, or is it enough now? For me, it's enough. I don't even see it.
No, I'm thinking the floodgates. They're opening. Bear man, you're going to see hella return. You're going to see Malachi Black coming back. Andrade's coming
back. 100%.
Listen, the flood. Bobby Fish is coming. I don't know, but Bobby Fish is coming back. The floodgates are opening. Debut. Listen, 2023. Mark my words. Every pay-per-view, you're going to see a debut. Watch. You might think it's a joke. Exciting. You're going to see. You're going to come. Do you think, Mister? Think about it. That's Triple H's formula. Obviously, he had to do with takeovers, but that's Triple H's formula. Debut after debut after you're gonna see it. Return after return. You're gonna see it.
That sounds exciting. But then we'll be having the same conversations that we've had in the past. The roster's 2 stats.
It's good. It's good to ebb and flow. That's what it's gonna be.
The roster's gonna be 2 stats. There's gonna be WWE will have guys that are just too good that they're not gonna know what to do with them again. They'll back themselves into a corner. And then we'll be complaining, saying, WWE's not using this guy, or this guy should be world champion.
That's wrestling. That's wrestling at this point.
Let them make do with the toys that they have now, and then slowly, one by one, bring people back, maybe every 6 months.
That's what happening, because you not hear contract tampering. It's happening. It's going to happen. Whether we like it or not. Triple H has already got the phone.
Whether we like it or not, are we not the same people complaining that people are in AEW that we thought would be cooking, and they haven't even touched?
They're not cooking. Yeah,
they're wrestling. They've been wrestling in Lagbaja, Duck for how long?
So when Uncle Triple H comes, he's the savior.
Baba.
Uncle Triple H comes for these lot.
Baba H.
It's what we need in wrestling right now. We need for people to be jumping between company to company. We need people to jump to AEW when they realize it's not green here. And Triple H like, my son, come back. Daddy's home. Then they now come to look at Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross got released.
Yeah,
he was doing whatever he was doing in the Indies. Now he's a mainstay on television. So it's good for business. It's good for the wrestlers, and it's good for us as fans. You get to be excited about both programs, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as they're managed well. I think the only thing I would really want to see, and obviously this is probably years down the line, is undisputed era on the main roster. I think there's potential. We probably could see that at some point. Like
what's Roderick doing?
He's been written off TV because he's got injured. He got beaten up, got taken out backstage, so he's off TV for a minute.
That's the member I care about the most right now. Like, really, I want to see what Triple H, because I don't think once he's clear, I think he's going straight main roster. There's nothing to the NXT.
Yeah, and they've kind of disbanded Diamond Mine, which was his faction. Like the man that are left over are having a match at NXT Havoc, Halloween Havoc.
That's a good match. I can't lie.
It's gonna be cold. Julius is cold.
Julius
is cold,
bro. Even Gable Stevenson's brother. I can't remember.
Damon Kemp.
Damon Kemp, bro. He is good, and even the face-to-face that they've done on TV this week.
Yeah,
bro, he can speak. And now it's got me thinking, My nigga Gable Stevenson, I think he tricked us, bro.
Yeah, they said he's not good enough.
You're just a fine boy, that's it. He just does it. Fine boy,
Wait,
no
Gable?
skill.
Yeah,
Gable.
apparently all the stuff that's come out so far said that Gable Stevenson just hasn't made the progress that they thought he would make. Hence why we just haven't seen him. And they're trying to put him on TV every now and again. Like I think at Mania and stuff, like he was on TV and stuff. It's like just to remind the fans that this guy's here. But like he hasn't. They expected him to debut by now, but even his brother that they didn't make any noise about has surpassed him in terms of getting onto TV already. Like,
they wanted they thought because the wrestler formula has worked well for them, but not everybody's got to hit, you know.
Yeah.
The wrestler, not every NAA college wrestler, not every Olympian's gonna hit. You're not gonna get Kurt Angle every time.
More than anything, that's probably what they thought. They probably thought they got a good-looking kid here that, you know, he's an Olympic champion and that we can take the limelight and bring him over to WWE and stuff. And it's his brother right now that's cooking. And
he went to the same school as Brock.
Yeah, all that story was there as well.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I mean, like you said, not everyone would have that found. But when you've got a wrestling background, you've got the foundation of what makes a lot of these wrestlers great. We've seen it in the Jeff Cobbs, the Chad Gables, the Shelton Benjamins, the Charlie Haas, like people with legitimate wrestling background that have been able to transition well. So for you to be an Olympian, gold medalist at that, and you've been signed by WWE even before the Olympics even happened, like you won the gold medal, really and truly, it should be a thing of like, bro, Brock Lesnar's your fucking mentor, man.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's your mentor. Instead you're coming to WWE to be rocking Balenciaga. You're not Dominic, man. Get out of here, man. There's only one dripper in WWE, and that's Dominic Mysterio. He's the only one that's allowed that one. You had that chance and you blew it, my nigga.
They said they built a ring for him and everything where he is. He's not even in the performance center. Where he was still preparing for the Olympics and the other stuff he does at uni, the college wrestling. They built a ring for him and all the gym equipment. They gave him all of that there, and they were coaching him there. Like, but it's just not come together by the sounds of it. So
I'm sure he's just been pamming. I think that's what it is. He's probably just been napping and he's forgetting that he's got shit to do. He just I got my gold medal. Now
you know we can't even talk about that. You know he's got a couple questionable stuff against his name, innit?
But even I've seen I remember this was like an old article, but like a lot of the tryouts that WWE are having, a lot of these new Mandem, they weren't impressed. Apparently, that the officials, they weren't impressed.
Yeah,
they weren't impressed. Like they said, this new thing is long, fam.
I think that was the last one that they did. They said that it was just a tragedy, and they never had any because there's no
professional wrestlers there.
Professional wrestlers, the NXT 2.0 people. It's like the blind leading the blind. The people that just learned how to wrestle are here trying to teach these nil people. Like people got injured and stuff like that. And
you know what? Yeah, I wanted. Do you know what Vince retired to earlier? I wanted to see where this would have gone. Let's see where all of this would have gone, because what the hell? This don't mean
for the most part, I think it would have worked because we've seen its success in the last 20 years. I just think where wrestling has changed, it doesn't make sense for you to now solely rely just on collegiate athletes. Mm-hmm. The likes of the Brock Lesnar's and there were at least John Cena, who had wrestling experience before he mixed it up with the Batistas and the Brock Lesnar when he was in OVW. But for you to now have the Omoses now mixing it up with different guys that have just come from basketball and come from lacrosse, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
At least have maybe one or two indie stars, even if they're not even the Johnny Garganos or people that have prominent success, but they've been wrestling for maybe 2-3 years. They can at least take a few good bumps and whatnot. Like
Danny Burch, them kind of man, like
Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, but
you released them, and now they're killing in Japan, winning titles. That was your own. Anyways, that Baba Hunter is back, so we'll probably see a few of them. I think apparently Odie Lorcan is looking to come back to WWE. So.
Yeah.
Like Biff Music.
They brought him back, I think last week or 2 weeks ago as a coach, and then I think now they're just offering him a whole contract to come back.
Yeah, he should join that. What was that faction that Sheamus and Butch and them lot in?
Brawling Brutes.
You want
Yeah,
the Americans to go and join Europeans.
him and Danny Burch were a tag team. Why not in it? Bring the
That was different. That was 1 and 2. You wanted to go and do Brawling Brutes. Like that way they wear top hats. Brawling Brutes.
Brawling Brutes, man.
Do what Vince would do. Put action on him, innit? It's cool. Dude, that's what Vince would have done, though. Don't lie. That's WWE.
What would Vince do?
What would Vince do?
Last question from our guy, Gabe the Kid. Big up, bro. Seeing Carl Anderson being a champion for New Japan in WWE, could we be hopeful for a working relationship or even potential crossover show?
Nope. No chance.
I don't want it.
I don't think so. I don't think it's there on the table. I just think that, you know, they're just happy. Like, they're not mentioning he's the never open weight champion. So I don't think we should even think, you know.
Have you guys seen the video that he dropped earlier?
Yeah. He's not going to his title match.
I feel like he's still gonna wrestle. Or I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
You think so?
You think he's still gonna wrestle for New Japan?
I feel like he might have a match for New Japan. I feel like
that same day.
Not that day. No, not that day. Because he said he's not wrestling that day. But I feel like at some point he may go back and drop the title.
Oh yeah. I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Or maybe Hunter will be understanding and say, you know what, you have a few storylines there. Go and finish what you're doing. But obviously, come back when it's come back at 10 p.m. Go at 1.
Here's the thing. Triple H is way more understanding. But don't get into it. Triple H is king capitalist as well. He's king. I wanna own shit as well. So
yeah,
if Triple H, it wouldn't surprise me if Triple H was like, nah, fuck that title. But he's more reasonable than Vince. I never think conversation will happen, but I wouldn't be shocked or flabbergasted if it was like we check them man thing. Because
if anything, like Triple H may run it just so that he's kind of building a relationship with New Japan. To say, oh, see, I'll let your guy still work over here and do this and whatever the case is.
True.
So yeah, that could be what Triple H is on. But at the same time, remember, like you're saying, NK, after we had NXT UK, the next one was going to be NXT Japan.
He was good.
NXT Japan was in the works.
Yeah.
So
like an idiot, he wanted to buy Noah. And good thing they said no, because they would have ruined that company.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. Listen,
I'm not opposed to them buying the company.
To Europe thing, what morph to something. I'm telling you, Triple H. Listen, Triple H is better than Vince, 100%.
He's a
but
visionary.
the WWE, it's still WWE.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, man.
Just me.
100.
It's King Takeover. He will buy you. He's not your mate. He will buy you.
Your mate, he'll buy you.
I mean, there are companies for him to buy though. There's a few like Japanese companies that are shit that could do with the cash injection, and it might do well for them. They could take those wrestlers and do what they want in it. But for the most part,
he's gonna make a bid for DDT.
No, they won't do that. Cyberfight have too much money.
Saying that
Cyberfight have too much money. I don't think they'll go. Maybe Big Japan Wrestling, or maybe I don't know, the wrestling company Freedom, the one that GCW done a show with. Maybe them. If you could do an event with GCW, then I can assume that there's not that much bread. I can assume there's not that much bread in it. But yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it's funny though. GCW was the internet sweetheart, and now everyone just cussing it.
It's because of AJ Gray. AJ Gray fell off the ladder, and then we saw it for what it was. That's what I started to
such a bad spot.
That's what I started to do. When I saw AJ Gray fall off the ladder, I said, yeah, this is not the company for me anymore. I can't watch it.
What pay-per-view was that? That was the yeah. That whole event was a mess.
Yeah. Leon Slater is going the next month.
GCW.
Yeah, man. Big up Leon Slater.
He's doing bits. This is a very fast ascent we're seeing with
bro. All it takes is for a GIF. And and you know, in America they love GIF wrestling. So, bro, the minute he does that Swanton 450, go on. He'll get booked for House of Glory. And I'll put him against Marufuji or Eddie Kingston or something, bro.
Amazing.
Low key, maybe.
Low key, exactly. So
yeah.
Or Leo. Actually, I think he had a match against Leo Rush.
Leo Rush.
He had a match against Kesh stuff not too long ago. So, Bro, it's just crazy the way wrestling works, man. It's
Very fast, man.
absolutely nuts. So yeah, man, should be lit.
Yeah, man. Boy, should we put a bow in it, wrap it up?
Yeah, Black History Month. Let's all shout out a wrestler, a black wrestler.
Don't shout my favorite. That's what I'm gonna say.
Who's that?
Shane Killshot Strickland.
We still need to get him on the podcast.
100%.
Still need to get him on the podcast.
I'm gonna shout out who you guys were with last week. OJMO, Michael Oku.
Oh, yeah.
That's another one where the ascent has just been crazy. So,
Nuts in that.
yeah.
Nuts in that.
The stock price is too high.
NK, do you wanna go?
Shout out D'Angelo Dawkins, fam.
Angelo Dawkins.
Angelo Dawkins, fam. Angelo Dawkins, fam.
Yeah.
King of the pounce.
The king of the bounce, yes.
King of the pounce. His pounce is hard, bro. I can't lie.
Labs, you've come to start trouble.
His pounce is hard.
Oh, shit. I'm going to shout out Desmond Xavier, aka Wesley. Yeah, big up
Wesley.
I'm a proper big fan of him, man. He's cold. So.
He's cold. Yeah.
And bro, the North American title scene is looking very nicked off.
Yeah, that ladder match. Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
It's gonna look sick, bro. Yeah. I'm looking forward to NXT this weekend. I can't lie, man.
Yeah, it should be
Can't
a good
lie,
show.
yeah.
I think Carmelo and what's his face?
Trick.
They're going main roster.
Bro, they have to.
100%.
They're going main roster. Maybe in Royal Rumble or something like that. I think they're done in NXT.
They have to. Like it's their time is done. Like they've done everything. They've been a pillar to NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
They've done everything they can.
Mhm.
And it's crazy. And Max, we've said this time and time again. When Trick came in, he fumbled.
Yeah.
But he realized after that fumble, he's never fumbling again.
Yeah.
And he's been in his Birkin since then. So
because who they stuck him with in Carmelo is too good.
yeah.
So it's almost like he realized if I don't take this opportunity, I'm gonna get left behind. Like, and he's been brilliant. So fair play to
and bro,
him.
the tag team match they had on NXT with him, Carmelo, and Oro Mensah and
Yeah,
Wesley, bro.
That was a good match yesterday. Yeah.
NK, I can't let NXT's back, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's cooking.
You probably won't watch it, but it's very much more wrestling, but they still have like the story elements in it.
One thing I'll add, in fact, before we finish, obviously at the end of the main event segment where they're getting selling the world title match, Austin Theory came out with the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And I thought they fumbled what could have been a massive surprise. Like, obviously, it doesn't look like Austin Theory is going to cash this in on Roman Reigns. Like, so how are they going to get the briefcase off him? Like, it looks like he may just run out of time, which I think is a good storyline as well. But what if he actually cashed in on the NXT champion, surprisingly, and became NXT champion? I think that's something he could have done.
Easily.
Yeah. I feel like what would have made it better is if they didn't make Austin Theory turn up.
That's exactly it. Like,
now that he's turned up, we kind of know that. Yeah,
It's on the table like it's an option.
Yeah.
Whereas if he had just turned up at Halloween Havoc,
bro,
it would have been like, oh shit. Because when I woke up to seeing him on NXT, I was like, interesting, but at the same time,
they've blown
now,
it.
Now I'm preempted that he might cash in
Yeah.
at Halloween Havoc. If he showed up at Halloween Havoc, I would have been like,
Yeah. Mad thing. Yeah.
Because there's no way, like Mick said, there's no way he's cashing in on Roman. One spear, Superman punch as soon as the bell rings.
But if they do like a storyline, like I'm saying, like he runs out of time, that's original. They've never done that before. Like literally, they're counting down, and like he has 1 year to cash in, and at Money in the Bank next year, whenever it is, he fails to cash in. He literally runs out of time. Like, and they just Triple H comes out and just orders him to give back the briefcase or something. Like, I think that could be a nice way to do it, where he doesn't look too bad because he didn't lose it, and they've never done something like that before. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, another great episode. Any shout outs? Anything you need to plug?
No, No.
Donate to our coffee. Listen, we have no drinks today. We're not even in the studio. Like, come on, man. Donate.
We have no Esther money.
No,
No,
nothing.
it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
dry.
we can't travel. You know what I'm saying? Get us to 10K subscribers.
All of that.
That's it. Get WrestleManiac UK to 1K subscribers.
No, like that.
Soon.
The hardest working.
Hardest working. Even on his birthdays, releasing videos. I swear, and I was like, Max, or more rest.
Don't worry. By the time I step out of this room, I'm gonna get in trouble as well.
Another good one. We'll see you guys in the next episode. It should be about Delboy.
Max, the WrestleManiac.
NK.
Laps.
Wrestling's podcast, episode 142, the coolest wrestling podcast in the world. And as we always say, by the Mandem, for you, the Mandem.
For the Mandem.
Wow. We are back in studio next week, so please, guys, don't flog us. Just enjoy the episode for it is, please.
You just got to the end of the podcast, and if you enjoyed what you've listened to, you enjoyed what you watched, you enjoyed the vibes, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bow.